Hi, this is Dave Belsky. Welcome to the Talent Cannabis Sunset Session brought to you by FlowerHire. We have two very special guests today, Loriel and Anthony from 40 Tons. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, David. It's an honor.
Well, we have a beautiful day, beautiful sunset behind us for our viewers' pleasure. Hopefully they will still listen and pay attention, not watch the sunset. So starting fresh, tell me about 40 Tons. What is 40 Tons?
You want to take it or you want me? It's up to you.
You go ahead and take it, Anthony.
So the newspaper article read, California man sentenced to life in prison for 40 tons of weed. And that was Corvain Cooper. Corvain Cooper is a friend of mine of 27 years. And we were all charged basically with 40 tons of marijuana. And so when we finally decided to move forward with the brand and coming up with a name for it, Corvain was like, we got to call it 40 tons because what took us down is going to bring us back up. And so we turned a negative into a positive, and that's where we got the name 40 tons from. But 40 tons is more than just that. It means a lot of different meanings. 40 tons is, what do you think of when you think of 40 tons? Weight, heaviness, right?
Yeah, I can't lift that up.
Nobody can, right? And so imagine having a life sentence, or just someone serving prison time for a nonviolent cannabis offense. The weight that the moms, the daughters, the wives, the sisters, who are usually the ones that get left holding the bag, have to bear that weight. And so there's that meaning to it. And we like to say, just because someone carries it well, it doesn't mean it's not heavy. And so that's where the name 40 Tons came from.
Well, it's I mean, there's a powerful message behind that, you know, and I think even beyond the brand, there's so much more work that you're doing. It's a very purpose-driven brand, which we'll talk more about. But you know, let's talk a little bit more about the origin story first. I mean, and you know, getting your third partner, Corvain, out of prison, right? And that's what you know, the mission was, and the brand when it started was a way to help finance that cause and build awareness for Corvain's story. Can you and you yourself were in prison for years for the same indictment, right? And coming out, it was your mission to get your buddy out, who you've known for decades.
Sure, yeah. So, you know, I served a couple years on that one, and then prior to that, you know, even more years before that, I served a couple of years over a nonviolent cannabis offense. And so it's like cannabis has just kind of been in and out of my life since I was a kid. And so, you know, we served time over this plant, right? And, you know, Corvain ultimately sacrificed his life for the plant. So, I mean, when did it start? I mean, it started 20-something years ago, right?
It's a loaded question, right? Because yes, on paper, we are, you know, just 18 months old. But when I look back at things, we are well over 20 years old, right? We, you know, Anthony and Corvain, I like to say, they invented the curb serving, right? What we, you know, think it's something new today. No, they sold their first eighth.
Corvain calls it, we were the Uber of weed.
I mean, cannabis delivery is not a new thing.
No, it's not. You know, and Anthony and Corvain are, you know, pioneers in cannabis, right? They all sacrificed. I sacrificed. Our children that were left behind sacrificed. You know, so yeah.
We you know, we used to do a bunch of other hustles, non-cannabis related, and we always hung out, you know, we always dressed fresh, right? So, you know.
I mean, look at this tracksuit.
Look at everybody, you know what I mean, in the office rocking the 40 tons. You know?
We got swagged up today. It was nice.
Yes, they did. They got super taken care of, and it's awesome, man. It's our pleasure. So, you know, we've always been into fashion. Corvain was into fashion. Corvain had a clothing store prior to getting locked up. So, you know, we were always around the cool people, the fresh people, and who usually is that? The doughboys, the people that are selling the drugs or the hustlers of the streets. And so we wanted to be like them because we wanted to make money like they did. Well, the one thing that all of them did was what? Smoke bomb, right? And this is Cali, this is LA, this is when chronic was popping, right? So we were the ones that supplied the chronic. So we bought an eighth of weed That's all we had the money for. We broke it down into 3 dub sacks, smoked the other 0.5, flipped it, kept going from a quarter to a key to the ROC, and went from that to 40 tons.
I mean, that's
literally like that's not even like.
Well, that's what you had to do. You hustled. You hustled. You were business people. You were out there. You were working hard. You know, like, and you're supporting a lifestyle for yourself and eventually your families.
True, exactly. I mean, not that we're trying to like justify that we sold weed without a license, right? We did. We didn't follow the rules in sense of that. But like, you know, when you sell real estate without a license, you don't go to jail forever, right? And so we were part of that, along with all of the other people, like the growers up in the Triangle and the hippies and the people that, you know, really put their lives on the line for this plant. The culture of cannabis is why we're here, the legacy, you know, and so we just wanted to continue that and like really, you know, honor the mothers, the daughters, the wives, like Loriel, like Corvain's mother, sister, who had to bear the weight of bullshit we would do.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, there's a lot of talk about, and in fact, about like the reality of how the war on drugs has affected, you know, largely Black and brown communities and left and others behind. But like the idea of solutions and trying to right that wrong is a very complex thing to figure out. And when I look at 40 Tons, it's a brand, but it's so much more than that. It's a brand with a purpose. And, you know, I like to, you know, the brand and the purpose, we've chatted about, but there's even more that's being done. And from my perspective, when you look at solutions in terms of including people that have been displaced and those people's families with opportunities in the legal cannabis industry, there's not a lot of effective solutions that have been developed yet. There's goodwill and there's intent, but you've used, you know, the story and getting your friend out of prison and the connections you made in that process to do a lot of really good things. And you've created this 40 Tons as a brand, but it's also a platform that, you know, the brand speaks to the weight of the failed war on drugs and what it's done for communities and mothers and daughters and all of that. But the solutions around helping to include these people in the workforce, and you have a platform now where you're actually putting together you're putting together career fairs specifically guided towards people that have served time for cannabis, and to help them get jobs and help them turn their lives around and give them hope and a path and purpose. Can you talk a little bit about like how the career fair part of what 40 Tons does, how that came about, and like, you know, and so I guess start there.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. It wasn't just enough stopping at bringing Corvain home, and there was a bunch of people involved in doing that. We knew we had to do more, right? We had to do more than just profits from our cannabis brand, giving it to prisoners, right? Putting money on their books, supporting them, right? We knew we had to do more, and how could we do that? So we partnered with Brand Resumes, and we thought, this is a company that has their shit together, right? Brandon Mitchell is a powerhouse in itself. So we knew that if we gave people who came out of jail for nonviolent cannabis charges that second chance that they needed, right? That we would actually be helping that person be proud again, right? Get back into society, have equitable lives, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's one thing, you know, we always talk about, it's one thing to get someone out of jail, it's another thing to keep them out. What are we doing to keep recidivism down? And that's what the Canna Get a Second Chance Cannabis Career Conference. We changed it from fairs to conference.
I like that.
We're getting big.
We're getting bigger. So like fairs is like a boring job fair, but a conference is like, you know.
And there's been a couple in Hawthorne here in Southern California.
Yes.
There's been one in Oakland. There's about to be one in New Jersey.
Trenton,
which I think you know Curaleaf is sponsoring and getting behind.
Rooted and Good. Yep.
Yeah.
You know, but they are more than just fairs.
Correct.
Like these aren't. I think career fairs have a kind of a lame old world connotation, right? It is a conference because you can go to your website and you can look at these like recap videos that are there, and like you obviously there's employers that are interested in interviewing previously incarcerated cannabis offenders, try to get them jobs. Yeah. But you mentioned the resume service.
Brand resumes.
Brand resumes, who I think you used yourself when you were trying to get a job after you got out of jail to like help you get your CV together so you could like start submitting. And
So you want to hear that story?
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of. So yes, that is partially correct. So I'm an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. I eat what I kill, right? That's kind of how, what entrepreneurs do, right? Yeah. So it's feast or famine. So there's a really good podcast called Earn Your Leisure. It's the largest pretty much Black financial literacy podcast in the nation. They interview everybody from Mark Cuban all the way down, but they started as just this like rink-a-dink on the cell phone giving out knowledge and game. I'd been listening to them to episode 59. From episode 4 is when I found them. So they do one a week. All the way to episode 59, Brandon comes on episode 59. He's the youngest guy. He's 23 years old. He has this resume company that he scaled to $1 million at 23. So I see this guy and I'm like, you know what? I'm in the video production business, right? This is prior to me getting into cannabis. I'm in the video production business. I need to kind of redo my CV. Like, I mean, I don't really need it because I'm an entrepreneur, but I could use it and it could only help me. Let me buy what this dude is talking about just to meet him. So I spent the $350 to buy the resume CV so that I could just meet him. And then now he knew I was serious and I wasn't just like, trying to get a bunch of
free.
Want something for free. And then we struck up a relationship. And then from there, we realized that we could have so much more impact, and it's just been sky's the limit.
And so Brand Resumes is part of these conferences, and they help people create resumes and create LinkedIn profiles.
Optimizations, resumes. We formed 40 Tons Careers. So in conjunction with 40 Tons and Brand Resumes, we created something called 40 Tons Careers. And our signature initiative is the Canna Get a Second Chance conference. And so we do that. We do headshots.
Thank you.
What else do we do? We do.
We wanted to make it interactive for people who are seeking a job, seeking the second chance. We knew that someone coming out of jail, they didn't have $50 to get a haircut, right? So what we did, we brought in barbers that were more than willing to lend their services for these individuals who were wanting a haircut, right? Yes, we also partnered with other companies to provide wardrobe, right? Because we knew that was important. They needed to get a polished look. We had photographers to give them headshots, right? LinkedIn profiles, optimization, resume coaching, and we didn't stop there because we also knew you had a record, right? So most of the time when you have a record, you can't get not only a job, you can't even get housing. You can't even put a roof over your head, right? So we knew that we had to do something about one's record. So we partnered with law firms and other legal teams to help the process of expungement, because that's what was needed for these people who are coming home wanting to get back into the workforce, today's workforce. To
reform society and have a path forward.
Yeah.
We created a Voltron, right, is what we like to say, because we're not expungement clinic experts. We're not LinkedIn optimization experts. We're culture curators. And we knew that we can use our relationships and our business savvy to bring the FlowerHires, the engines, the brand resumes, the M4MMs together. And then now we could be a Voltron and really go and help the community that we're at.
Actually make a difference.
Make
Absolutely.
a difference. Some dude came to the Hawthorne event. He got a cannabis conviction 30 years ago, and it's been, he wasn't the, borderline homeless looking kind of guy, right?
A little rough.
He was a little rough, right? And he had always kept saying like, I couldn't, ever since I got this conviction, I always just could never get jobs. And, you could tell he was not in the best position of in his life. He came and got a haircut. He came and got a resume. All the owners from Corvain, myself, talked to the guy like he's just one of us. And he got a job. And he ended up getting a job at Stizzy. So he wanted to cry, the dude, you know what I mean? Like, this is a grown man, almost 50 years old, that's missing a few teeth, crying because we helped him. And that was something that, and it's not on no mushy nothing. We're not doing this to be mushy, but you get the feeling of it.
You feel like there's more, it's more fuel for your purpose.
Exactly. And
you know that you're living that that dream in honor of the weight of this, of like helping to lift some of that weight, like deflate that balloon and that bubble. And like, I mean, you've been through this of being kind of left behind, you know, as with a partner in jail for a nonviolent offense for cannabis. And you know, I know you've made it part of the 40 Tons mission to connect with, you know, the family of the people you're trying to free and the people you're trying to help, you know. And it's got to be like very challenging work. But like you said something to me that was about like how you just encourage people to be honest and tell their story and like and get it out there, you know, and you give people the courage to start doing that.
Yeah. I you know, when Anthony went to jail, not once, not twice, but 3 times, it was humiliating, you know, having to tell the story that, oh, you know, when your kids ask, where's dad? Is dad come? No, he's at work. Oh, he's overnight work. And, you know, it's weekly work. Now it's monthly work. And now it's like, okay, what, you know, you have to start somewhere, you know. So I say that because it was tough, but I knew that I was going through this hard, challenging time in my life to help the next Loriel next to me. I don't like to say anyone's behind me. So help the next Loriel next to me to know that you're not alone. You know, I'm here to support you. There's, you know, and I'm here to pull all the resources that I have to help you be the best version of yourself. And so I think we're doing that with our Canna Get a Second Chance Cannabis Conference. Yeah.
And if I can add to that, you know, my situation is nothing compared to these guys that got 20, 30 years. Corvain doing life. Like my little punk 4.5 years total is nothing. You know what I mean? It's people doing 25 years right now. I just talked to Edwin Rubis yesterday. Edwin Rubis got a 40-year sentence on a cannabis offense, and he's been down 25 years. These guys call us literally on a daily basis. If they're not calling Corvain, they're calling me, they're calling her. And we're tapped in with these people. And Mohammed Tahir, he got 25 years for 100 pounds. 25 years, and he's been down 9 already. Luke Scarmazzo, which this is going to be good because this is coming out before the August 13th Trenton Fair, but we got a surprise for Trenton as it relates to Luke Scarmazzo. So we won't. You're just gonna have to come to the event to find out.
Conference.
So Luke Scarmazzo has 22 years for operating a legal cannabis dispensary in the earlier days. And, you know, so it's like, these are the people that deserve the kudo, you know, like, yes, I did, you know, a little less than 5 total, and it was definitely hard, but it's the guys like them that, you know, that gave their life to this, you know, the people that died over this plant, you know, are the ones that I give my credit to.
You know, I can't even begin to relate. You know, I hear the story and like you know, you want to try to do good, and that's why I'm so happy to have you guys on here. It's like, because you're a group that's doing good and providing solutions and progress. You know, and it's a powerful message, and like you tell the story, and like you're in front of it, and you're trying to like help people with the story and end this hypocrisy of, you know, what we have in the world.
In the worlds of Dale Sky Jones and this godforsaken drug war.
From Amsterdam.
From Amsterdam. Shout out OU, yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
You know what it is? It's cannabis for humanity.
Oh, wait, will you see that here?
You know.
That's what we're all about. That's what you're about.
Well, it's a time that the world needs cannabis, needs a paradigm shift. It needs people to be able to communicate, not be divided, and like hear each other. And you know, it's you know, and there's progress. It's not enough. It's not fast enough. And I think progress, in order for cannabis to truly work, you need to, you know, we talked a lot about, obviously, FlowerHire is in the business of helping people get jobs in cannabis, helping companies in cannabis hire the right people that they can move forward and succeed. And as you know, being a founder of a cannabis company, co-founders with Corvain, it's a hard thing to do, right? But when we're talking to people about working in cannabis, humility is such an important part of what it takes. Humility as a professional, to know that you're not going to be good at your job and you have to learn again and be scrappy. But humility because you're going to meet people who have been to jail for this plant, and you're going to have to bend the knee. Because it doesn't make sense, right? These aren't, you know, lunatics. These are hardworking hustler folks that, you know, we're getting people medicine, You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but we're getting closer. You know, we're pushing towards legalization. You know, we get to be here today. So, you know, it takes once. You know, Lao Tzu said, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step." So, you know, we may still have 20,000 steps to go, but we've done 10,000 of them so far. So,
We're walking.
You know what I mean? It's a journey, and we're just honored to be here, and you know.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. I mean, it's fantastic to have you guys. And so 40 Tons, the brand.
Yeah.
Proceeds from 40 Tons, the brand, go to support these conferences. Goes to support the work you're doing to free prisoners. Goes to support the work you're doing to provide a path for folks formerly incarcerated.
Yes.
Right. And you know, it's the same entity. It's a, you know, we had this purpose-driven brand.
We call it a social impact brand.
Social impact brand.
And to add to that, you know, also supporting us legacy people who, you know, it now gives us a way for us to pay our bills. So in addition to doing something that we love to do and help paying our own bills and giving back to the legacy, we now get to pay it forward and help those others. And so we don't give a percentage of proceeds to anything. We've built social impact completely into our brand. So everything that we do, even if we're selling something, we're creating awareness. We're doing something to create that social cause, kind of like Tom's shoes.
Yeah,
right?
that's a good analogy. Yeah.
You know,
Well, there are some you know, a lot of brands in cannabis that have their hearts and minds in the right place, and they donate a percentage of their proceeds to groups.
Yes,
and that's needed, and that's fantastic. But it is contained, and that differentiates itself in me, in that the brand supports the cause directly. That's part of the organization that you're managing, and the fact there's only, you know, you and your partner and Corvain, your other partner.
That's it.
They're doing all this. Like, you were still hustling.
We need an investment because we need more humans.
You were still hustling.
Hustling and grinding.
Yeah.
And drive. Yeah.
But the brand itself, like, you know, it's available in California. And a lot of Northern California will be everywhere in Southern California soon. You can get it delivered through High Time in Southern California. We learned today.
Yes.
Right. High Time delivery. But
get that re-up order.
But also you have partners, Good Day Farms, where it's distributed in medical markets in Missouri and Arkansas.
Yes, great. Vape pen just dropped this week.
Oh yeah.
Phenomenal product that we got out there. Thanks to Eric Thornton, he believed in the mission and then
early on
disseminated it down to his team at Good Day Farm, and we launched last week out there.
And they're good partners, and proceeds go towards the
overall mission
we've been talking about here, and so you're looking to bring the brand and the products to other markets, you know,
yes.
and obviously you're doing one of your conferences in New Jersey. Are there other states that you're looking to launch the brand in? Are there anything you're looking for specifically in partners? If you're listening out there,
right.
Partners.
Oh wow!
You know, I want that, but I want you to say something if you want.
Please, Loriel.
What type of partners are we looking for?
To
I'll
distribute
talk about
the brand.
business.
The type of partners.
Ethical.
Because you've been through different partners in cannabis.
Yes,
and
we have.
We have, and it's been tumultuous, and we're thankful. But
partners that can bring value to what we already have. Partners that can offer their expertise, not just, you know, say, hey, I want to take a booth and be done. Like, really have our missions aligned together with that partner, right?
Ethos is really important to us. We want you to believe in what we believe in. One of the things, we're a licensing play, right? And so we knew that being basically a white labeler is really, you know, a difficult position to be in the supply chain, right? You're subjected to the ebbs and flows of the market. You don't own any licensing, and you don't really get to make too much control. So what we knew, that if we were going to have to be that, we needed to be so different that we needed to be almost like in our own lane. We finally met a manufacturing partner here in California, Sunset Connect. Yeah. Shout out them. Ali is an amazing human being. Their director of manufacturing is a mad genius. Got trained under Frenchie Cannoli, so they're hash super experts. And with our white labels, we actually are almost like a custom craft white labeling solution, meaning we have our own products that aren't cannibalizing our other manufacturers' products.
It's not the same stuff in the package next
It's not
to it.
slapping a logo on some flower and calling it something else, right? Like, we are actually creating products that are for us, that are ours, that they're making for us, and we're licensing our IP to them in order to push the 40 Tons brand. And so we're thankful for that. Back to your question about other markets, we just launched last month with a company called Owl's Oil, which is a hemp company. And so they put out hemp products, and we have a gummy with them that just sold out. So they purchased 2,000 containers for us, and they sold out this month. And so we're doing the re-up on that, and that's nationwide where hemp products are sold. And so
like Delta 8.
Delta 8, CBD, cannabis, you know, that kind of stuff. And they're very high-end, good quality products. So forgive me for kind of hijacking that part of the conversation, but like I'm the business guy, I'm the operations guy, so I'm always thinking numbers and business and, you know, elevating. So
what about other partners for the conferences? Like it's a fantastic platform. Just, I'm sure the outreach needs to happen for community-driven organizations in the different locations you're having these conferences to get the right people to attend and getting the word out there. Like, it is an undertaking and a production, and from my opinion, again, it's a best in breed. There is nothing else quite like it. What else do you need for the conferences to help them succeed and help that 40 Tons mission, and having that path forward for the formerly incarcerated? You know, what else type of support do you need?
we need a good staffing and recruiting partner.
Correct.
Oh, I know one.
You might know one.
You might know one. You know what I mean? But go ahead.
Yes, venues. We also, we always need venues that are going to house, upwards of 1,000 people as the career conference just kind of snowballs.
How many people were at the last one you guys did?
400.
I mean, that's
and it was
fantastic.
raining.
We had 870 registrations. About little over 400 people showed up, and it was raining.
And it was raining in California.
It was raining.
People don't want to do anything.
That morning in Oakland, and we probably lost 100 people just from that.
But still, that 50% show up rate for a free conference from an RSVP is above average.
Is it? I mean, he might know a thing or two.
He might, you could put us with that savvy and recruiting agency that you might know. Today we are 30 days out. And we have 205 registrations already. So we are anticipating about 2,000 registrations, and if we could get just a quarter of those people to show up, we'll be super happy about it. But back to your question about what kind of partners are we looking for? We're looking for partners that can actually help take us to be able to do this in more cities with more frequency. So doing what we're doing and rinsing and repeating. When we did our first one, we really didn't know what we were doing, but we knew we wanted to do something, and we learned from it. And after we finished doing that one, we got together as a team, talked about what was good, talked about what could have been better, and did it better the next time, and then did it better the next time. And then now we're on our fourth one, and it's almost like clockwork. We have everything where we fully understand it, and the number one thing is getting sponsors, and we think we're pretty solid on getting attendees. So it's being able to take what we're doing and scale it and rinsing and repeating, and that's the kind of partner that we need. So like Rooted in Good, for example, with Curaleaf, gave us a really big commitment to sponsor like the next few of our events. And so people like that or companies like that is what we're looking for.
Companies like FlowerHire.
Who have helped us,
who believed in us.
Well, I mean, again, solutions are what is needed, and like the fact that like you said you did it, and you figured out how to do it better. I mean, you did it, and like actually getting things done that haven't been done before is really hard.
Yeah.
It is really hard, and you should feel good about that, and obviously the hustle is definitely, it's still going, and it's going stronger than ever.
It's called no sleep.
But what's crazy is that there's places like Florida where we've placed people that they couldn't get licensed because they had a cannabis conviction still. Wow. And it's and I think as the states are progressing, at least in the Northeast for sure, and the West Coast, they're starting to be they're more mindful of the importance of the regulatory framework. I mean, It's unbelievable that you have a really strong partner in Arkansas and Missouri.
Yes.
You know, that's
blessings, brother. Thank you for that.
Yeah, but yeah, there's so much work that needs to be done, and you know, is there, you know, anything before we wrap up here? Is there anything you want to share about kind of the future of 40 tons, and like if you could choose the impact, you know, 3 years out, forecasting, because you put it out there, it's more likely to happen, you know, like where do you see this really going, this platform that you're building? You know, you're going to need, I know you have helpers to pull off each individual event, obviously.
That's a great question.
What do you need? Where do you think this is going? I
got my answer. I'll let you go first if you want.
Yeah, my mind is going a mile a minute. I just feel like, I mean, we want to create something, you know,
like you could get
legacy for
10,000 people formerly incarcerated jobs in cannabis. Like the fact that that's possible through
you're so close. I was just going to say, we want to give 40,000 jobs. So everything we do is in increments of 40. We want to do 40,000 jobs, 40,000 expungements, 40,000 resumes, 40,000 LinkedIn optimizations. We just want to add zeros to the end of the metrics that we're recreating. So like our very first event, we'd had 200 and something people show up. We did 25 resumes, 40 LinkedIn optimizations, 25 headshots. I think 10 or 12 people got their expungement, and like 10 haircuts, something like that. And each time we do it, and then an X amount of people got hired. We now have gotten at least 300. I'm usually good at this. We have, I think 300 people got interviews, and about 100 people have gotten jobs, right? And so we just want to add zeros to that. But in addition to that, we want to be a premium brand that when you think of us, you think of our mission. And so whether we're selling, you know, clothes, whether we're selling cannabis,
sick tracksuits,
whether we're selling cool tracksuits, whether we're selling whatever we're selling, we want to have a brand that represents that when you wear or rock or consume or utilize 40 tons, you're representing the legacy, and you're representing social impact, and you're representing what we stand for.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Damn, how am I going to follow up with that?
That's real good. You just simmered.
I'll let you go first.
You just simmered. You just simmered.
I just simmer.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just watched Jumanji with my kids. You know, the rock.
Okay.
He smolders. I'm sorry, you smoldered.
Smoldered. So yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I want to leave with one thing. The way that we solve this issue, the way that we solve all world problems, is through two things: education and opportunity. And if we could bring education and opportunity together in whatever corner of the world we're in whatever space that we're in, that is how you solve problems, because you need to educate people on how to do whatever it is that we want them to do. And then we need to provide the opportunity to be able to take that education and actually go do something with it. And so if we just create our own little bit of education and opportunity in our own little worlds, that is what's going to make this a better industry and a better world, period. At least what I think. So hopefully you guys agree.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you guys so much for coming in.
Love, Dave. This spot is just, I mean, come on, man. Like, this, I know everyone that watches these Sunset Sessions is like, oh my goodness, I wish I could get interviewed. Until you get interviewed here, you don't even realize how fly it is.
It's a whole nother vibe. It's just a whole nother level.
It's for the community, you know. And, you know, it's been great to share it with you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Corvain, for coming.
Yeah.
And
yes.
Thank you for having us, and thank you for believing in 40 tons and this movement that we're creating. So thank you.